What's happening? What's going on? This is Introvert Boricua with a quick live stream. I know that I'm doing this a little late and short notice. But yeah, just wanted to be off here for a minute. Yeah, there isn't a script to this. This was meant to be kind of like an open topics, open mic type of thing. But one particular, not one particular subject. So I figure, what the hell? Now I know that I haven't been online in a while. In the last couple of weeks, have been really something, dealing with some personal stuff. I had to I had to go to a trip for a few days, and I have already been back for a week. But it's still dealing with certain issues, certain drama. Uh, not gonna get into the details on that right now. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that I haven't forgotten about anybody, and I wanted to kind of like come up and make it an open topic so I can kind of like take my mind off of the BS. Golden Goddess, Mama, what's going on, chica? How you doing? I'm just kind of like hanging out here, see who's out there. I know that everybody has their own lives. I know that I have mine, and but I just wanted to kind of like open up the window, kind of to see what's going on. But aside from that, eh, not much going on. Recovery Mondays. This is an expression from back home in which we refer to um, kind of like people that do take their weekend to really live it out at max. Kind of like having a good time and partying. I cannot say that that's what I was doing, even though I did go on a trip a week ago. I came back from a trip a week ago. I had to go to Puerto Rico, kind of like on a long weekend, because there was something that I had to take care of. Unfortunately, what um, what I was trying to take care of, it couldn't happen. I mean, like basically, I was kind of like stood up. Sometimes it's your own people that do you dirty, but. Well, we'll try again on a future date. Let's see somehow. See. Let's see. Ah, that's good. That's good, chica. It's good that you're doing good. Share. Let's see. People still pop up. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing. And maybe I could see. Hey, what's going on, Irby? Let me see, because I'm always kind of struggling a little bit when it comes to sharing. When it comes to sharing oh, when it comes to sharing the live stream. Let me see if I can get this to. See if I can get this to show up right. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna try and pin it. You know, Jose is better at this than me. So I just pinned it to the top of the chat, kind of the link to the live stream. So, any of y'all, you want to come on up, hang out for a few. So, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna start with something that caught my attention earlier today. Let me see if I can share the image, because when you don't do this for a while, then it's kind of like having to relearn this whole thing. Uh, let me. Okay. I remember a few years back that there was this whole thing with WikiLeaks, what was called WikiLeaks, and the man who ran the thing, Julian Assange, um, and he was getting a lot of confidential information and sharing it, kind of like letting people know about what was happening, and that made him a target for governments. Um, and which is unfortunate, because what he was doing, he was kind of like doing a service to people, to the a service to the world with the whole WikiLeaks. Now, to my understanding, WikiLeaks is not up anymore, and that was the kind of like the website that he was running, in which he was sharing somewhat sensitive information, and that, like I said, it made him a target for governments. That's why in London he was forced to take a asylum at the Ecuadorian embassy. And at first, for some time, from what I recall, it was cool for the Ecuadorian government to give him asylum, but there was a change in the administration. It was a change in who was the president, and then they decided to turn him over, eventually. So he was turned over to the authorities in London, and a lot of people were fearing for his life. They were fearing that somehow he will end up disappearing. You see, um, eh, and I'm gonna read what the latest was about him. Uh, and yes, Serbi, I actually agree with you. I agree with you that they should get a pardon. Now, apparently, he was able to strike a plea deal once he was extradited to the United States, which I was really fearing for him when it came to that, because he could end up disappearing. They could end up doing to him, not necessarily Jeffrey Epstein, because I have my doubts about Epstein. I mean, we don't know if he's even gone, if you know what I mean with gone. We don't even know that. So I'm gonna read into it the title of this article, in which it says Julian Assange agrees to plea deal with Biden administration that will allow him to avoid imprisonment in the US. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is something that you can look up. It says WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has agreed to plead guilty to a felony charge related to his alleged role in one of the largest US government breaches of classified material, as part of a deal with the Justice Department that will allow him to avoid imprisonment in the United States, according to newly filed federal court documents. Under the terms of the new agreement, Justice Department prosecutors will seek a 62-month sentence, which is equal to the amount of time uh, Assange has served in a high security prison in London while he fought extradition to the US. The plea deal will credit time served, allowing Assange to immediately return to Australia, his native country. The plea deal must still be approved by a federal judge, but as of Monday morning, Assange has been released from a UK prison, according to WikiLeaks. Julian Assange is free. He left Belmarsh maximum security prison on the morning of 24th of June, after having spent 1,901 days there. He was granted bail by the High Court in London and was released at Stansted Airport during the afternoon, where he boarded a plane and departed the UK. WikiLeaks said a Tuesday statement. Said in a Tuesday statement. Okay. A video uploaded by the group showed a black man traveling in a motorway, followed by footage of Assange boarding a plane. Okay. A federal judge in the Northern Mariana Islands set a plea hearing and sentencing for Wednesday morning, according to the U.S. District Court there. Mariana Islands. I have to look into that. Justice Department prosecutors had asked the court for the proceedings to take place on the same day because Assange was resistant to setting foot in the continental U.S. for his guilty plea, according to a letter from prosecutors. I will be resistant too. The court in the islands is near Australia, where Assange is a citizen and is expected to return to after the court hearing, prosecutors said. Prosecutors told the judge they anticipate that the defendant will plead guilty to the charge and be sentenced by the court for that offense. Assange was being pursued by U.S. authorities for publishing confidential military records supplied by former intelligence analyst Kelsey Manning in 2010 and 2011. He faced 18 counts from a 2019 indictment for his alleged role in the breach that carried a max of up to 175 years in prison, though he was unlikely to be sentenced to that time in full. U.S. officials alleged that Assange goaded Manning into obtaining thousands of pages of unfiltered U.S. diplomatic cables that potentially endanger confidential sources, Iraq war-related significant activity reports, and information related to Guantanamo Bay detainees. Guantanamo Bay should be closed. Unfortunately, that was a campaign promise from Obama. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. I mean, I don't dislike the guy, but yeah, he messed up on that one. He didn't close Guantanamo because that's kind of like a place where people can be imprisoned, and then the Bill of Rights, constitutional rights, that doesn't apply there. That doesn't apply there because even though that's not in the lower 48, that's not in the continental United States. It's a place that is controlled by the U.S. government, but constitutional rights, human rights, that doesn't apply there. So yeah, that place should be closed. So let me see what I got. Him and Edward Snowden should get part of, in my opinion. He's a whistleblower. I mean, whistleblowers, those are real heroes because they are taking risk. They're risking their lives. They're risking their freedom to tell the truth, to let people know the truth about as to what our governments are doing. They're heroes. Hey, TTUU, what's going on? Yeah, he conveniently deleted himself. Yeah, right. I have my doubts about that. Because you know that which community does he belongs to? That which is the most protected community in the United States. They're not gonna. They're not just going to take his life. I mean, it will be more likely that he might have been snuck out of the country and he's somewhere else. I don't believe it. I don't think that he might be alive and well, but somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in the land formerly known as Canaan, if you know what I mean. Okay. Let me see. Exactly. It's funny. Cameras in jail and Jeffrey was in happened. They happened to that night. Yeah, that's where they test their torture tactics. Yeah, on the Guantanamo. But then again, that should be closed. It should be closed down because what I mentioned before, when it comes to there being kind of like constitutional rights don't apply there, and they were holding a whole bunch of prisoners without without charges, without trials, just because they were from somewhere in the Middle East, and maybe they were enemies. They may have been enemies, but if you're gonna hold somebody in a jail cell, you have to charge them with something. I mean, you cannot just arbitrarily snatch somebody, put them in a jail, and just let them rot there for years and years without a charge. Again, constitutional rights don't apply, so there doesn't have to be a due process. Those guys, okay, Middle Easterners, they were assumed to be terrorists, but okay, if you're gonna hold them, you're gonna put them in a cell, then you have to charge them with something, and if not, you have to let them go. I mean, that's what's fair. Let me start with the share. Okay. Yeah, I know. Shouldn't be like that. But I mean, I I pinned the link to the chat. Feel free to come on up and share your thoughts. So, Didi, I know that you recently had a live stream. It's just that I have been dealing with a lot, and I haven't checked it out. I mean, you were doing kind of like a uh, uh, celebrity news type of thing. I mean, you say Titi, I was actually with my Titi. I had a chance to spend some time with my Titi back on the island. So that was good. That was good. I was supposed to be there to take care of something, take care of some business. It couldn't happen, but at least I was able to spend some time with my only remaining elder, the only elder in my family that I have left. Because I mean, some of them are already passing away. My mom passed away. I mean, grandparents passed away a long time ago. Another uh, another elder in my family passed away not long after my mom passed away. So basically, what I have is my tia. So I'm trying to keep in touch with her and kind of like cherishing whatever little time I can spend with her, because she's already 75 years old. So I don't know how much longer is she gonna be around. So that was all right. That was all right. So as soon as I can get back to the island, I do plan on seeing her again. Yeah, it's gonna be all right. So I wanted to start with that whole thing with Assange, and at least hopefully they stick to what they say when it comes um to what the plea to the terms of the plea, um and nothing ends up happening to him. Apparently he will go back home after the last few years, him being either um in asylum at that embassy, Ecuadorian embassy, and later he was detained. It's a place called Belmarsh. It's a high security prison, and I've heard of it before. I think it was in one of the James Bond movies. I mean, it's being in a cage, you know. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the guy is out. Yeah, yeah. You know, the thing with her is that she doesn't like to be photographed. She's always been like that. She doesn't like to be photographed. So maybe next time I'll try and take a couple of pictures with her. That is if she doesn't she doesn't do something. She doesn't smack me over the head about it. But yeah, but she doesn't like it. She's always been like that. She doesn't like to be photographed. So yeah, yeah. When it comes to old family pictures, I will have to look into that because I know that my sister has like a couple of the big albums, big family albums. That some of them, I only saw after my mom passed. You remember a while back when I had recently have gotten back from the island and I was seeing my sister and it was on a kind of like on a backstage. You remember showing you some pictures of my folks and there were also pictures of my TT, but that was when she was younger. And I showed you the pictures of my folks long before I had even born, even been born. So those pictures I had only seen them then because there were other the big albums with pictures that I was already familiar with. But I think that I can't look up like older pictures. It wasn't love old pics. I will have remember. Oh, you don't yeah. I think it was on a backstage that I showed you like black and white pictures of my parents when they were still in high school. They were going to the prom or something. That was a while before I was born. Eh, But I think I still got those. It's just that I'm not gonna show that here. But I think I still got those. And while I was now on the island, yeah, I was able to go around, see a few places that I haven't seen in a long time. Um, and I was even able to go to the beach. Yeah, family member. Okay. Next time you see your sister, take picture with your cell phone and family members that have old period. Yeah, old pigs never want to give them up or share. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That happens. I did manage to take a picture. I'm not gonna show it here. I'll show you that later. I did take a picture of like a couple of ID cards with my grandparents. Uh, and with my grandparents on my dad's side, on her side, her parents, my tia's parents, and yeah, it was nice to see their faces again because I hadn't seen them in years. Um, so that was all right to see those older pictures. Oh man, the beach that must have been nice. Yes, it was nice. It was nice. I had a chance to go to Luquillo Beach, um, and the thing, but there have been changes that I don't like. There have been changes that I don't like. I don't like. You may not know anything about the beach that I'm talking about, but traditionally, for a long time, when you will be approaching the entrance to the balneario, as we call it, the beach, there will be like a set of kiosks, one next to the other, and they were made of wood. They were made of wood. There were simple shacks, wooden shacks, and inside there will be people usually from the Piñones or the Loíza area, and they will do beach fritters, things that we call like alcapurrias and bacalaitos and uh, the fritters, beach fritters, frituras that are we love to have when we go there. Sadly, those places are not like that anymore. They have torn down all of the old kiosks that sell the good shit, the good fritters, It was a simple way because they will have kind of like a fryer, or they will have like a large cooking pot, and inside that they will drop a scoop of lard in it on a fire made of wood, and they will they will fry things there, and it was fried on lard, and it was delicious because things and manteca, as we call it, and and the frituras with manteca, that was the best thing, delicious. Unfortunately, what they have done is they have torn all of that down, and those places are now Americanized. They have built new they have built something new in its place, but and they are now built in solid concrete, that's not going to be affected by a hurricane or nothing. But sadly has been taken over by outsiders, and what they do is basically open air bars. That's what they are now. Open air bars that are playing music, and places where you can sit and all of that. And they sell alcohol and things. And maybe on the side of that, maybe a little fritter that is overpriced, very small and overpriced. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I would like to visit Puerto Rico one day, especially the beach. Man, you should. If you can plan something, and because a lot of people, they go there on a cruise, they dock on a cruise at the piers that are located in Old San Juan, but they only see Old San Juan. There is a lot more to see. The Old San Juan is basically the old colonial town. I mean, people that come from Cuba, that's basically the same thing as Little Havana, the Old San Juan, not Little Havana, but Old Havana. There is something in Cuba called Old Havana, and there is in Puerto Rico something called Old San Juan. The difference is that Old Havana is being left to decay, and Cubans that go to Old San Juan, they feel like they are in an alternate reality where Old Havana will have been maintained and kept up and preserved, because it's the old colonial town. Yeah, sounds good. I love frituras. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you were in the DR, if you ever had a kipe, which is a fritter, which is a beach fritter, that's basically what alcapurria is. It's kind of the same thing, right? Simple, quick snack. Yeah, man. And it used to be like that. There, you will get an alcapurria. It will either have meat, or it will have shrimp, or it will have crab meat. Uh, Now, if they were decently sized at a good price, but now in these new open air bars, you try to get the same thing, and it's small, tiny, and overpriced. And I hate that. I hate that. It doesn't even have the same flavor, because I don't know how they're. mm, they're just messing it up. If you want to get like a real fritura, you will have to go to the Piñones area. Uh, so I want to go to. I've always seen it online. I haven't been to Culebra either. Culebra is a little island municipality that is part of Puerto Rico, because technically, Puerto Rico is more of an archipelago. An archipelago is kind of like a nation that is a collection of islands. I mean, that's what the Philippines is. The Philippines is called the Philippines Islands for a reason, because it's a large archipelago of over 1,000 islands, and that compose that makes up the country. That's what it looks like. It's over 1,000 islands. But in Puerto Rico, it's actually a much smaller archipelago. It's like of about 100 islands, but it's like one large island surrounded by tiny ones, but by a bunch of tiny ones. But in Culebra is kind of like a spot. It's a place that you go there on a ferry. You stay there for like a couple of days, and yeah, it's paradise. It's paradise. I haven't been able to go there. And I remember talking to my mom about going there. Unfortunately, maybe she had been there. Maybe she did have a chance to go there. I didn't have a chance. I haven't had a chance to go there. So that's something that I would like to do eventually. That's something that I might want to suggest it to my tia, and maybe we could do that. Yeah, yeah. It was nice to be able to after you're about to leave the beach and you get a little something to eat, but now it's Americanized. Even in one of the open air bars that we stopped at, we wanted to I wanted to get something to drink. I wanted to get a fritura, and the guy that the guy that was there at the bar couldn't understand what we were saying. Because I think he was from the Virgin Islands, but he didn't speak Spanish. So that should tell you. You see what I'm saying? That's no. It's not even so much of a thing. The fact that somebody wasn't speaking Spanish, but they have changed our kiosks, the kioscos. No, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm just not gonna get into. No, don't want to get into it. Gringo nice. Yeah, like the beach spots, the kind of like the places that you go. Yeah, that Americanizing. Sí, La Habana Vieja. I would still like to see it myself. Sometime go to Cuba and see what it's like. I would like to do that. That's where my family is from. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cluster of Islands. Okay. Yeah. Because it's kind of like um the part where Old San Juan is located is actually connected to a bridge because it is on an island on its own, and it's connected by a bridge to the larger part of the island, to the larger island. So yeah. Yeah. You go bring a handbook. Okay. We feel like that when we go through a drive through and they don't speak English. Okay. All right. Yeah, but Golden, you're in Florida. You're in Florida. That has already been that has already been becoming more and more of a Spanish speaking place. Uh, Especially if you are in, I don't know in what part of Florida are you at, but if you're in central Florida, it's all full of my peoples there. My sister is in central Florida herself. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. When I go, or when a Uber driver don't understand you. Ah, okay. Full of Cubans. Are you more towards like Miami or something, Irving? Yeah. Some parts because I used to talk to a guy from Pensacola and he country as fuck. No, that's the thing because in Florida, it depends on where part of Florida you are. If you are like in northern Florida, then you are gonna be encountering more of a kind of like country sounding speaking people because the northern Florida is kind of like somewhat part of the what is called the deep south. If you know what the deep south is, that starts in Mississippi and ends up somewhere like in Kentucky or something like that. Some parts because I used to talk to a guy. Okay. When I went to Miami, no one in the joints knew English. I was like, how is this possible? Well, it's that proximity to Cuba. Hey, no. Yeah. Well, that's somewhat how it is for me here. I'm in North Texas in the Dallas area, and it's fairly simple. You encounter both. You encounter both, but over here you don't really have to speak English that much. I don't feel any pressure to having to speak English. It depends on where you go. You're going to if you're going to kind of like a seafood house, steak house. Well, of course you're gonna have to have your English on deck. But any place with so many places, so many Mexican food places here, you don't have to worry about that. So uh, you would think that they would need at least one person in case of anything. They should. They should. I agree. They should. They should have at least one staff person who can still do the things in English. But it's like over here, any place that is of like especially Mexican food. So many places like that over here. Yeah, you don't have to worry about uh, about English. If you come in and speak English, they should be able to understand you too. Yeah, you when I go to the ocean in Key West, it's kind of bugged out to see the sign. The sign say Cuba and 90 miles. Well, literally, that's the distance. That's the distance to Havana. Yeah, it never really hit me. We were that close until I saw that. Yeah, yeah, that's geography for you. That's how it is. And that's why so many people will risk it. That's why in Cuba, people are not allowed to ride on a jet ski. Yeah, people in Cuba, there are jet skis in Cuba, but regular people, only tourists can ride on them. A regular Cuban uh, can't ride on a jet ski because they don't want to risk somebody trying to escape, trying to run away on a jet ski. Yeah, because they get mad when you just speak Spanish back. Uh, well, yeah. No, but they shouldn't get mad. They shouldn't get mad. I will agree. I kind of don't understand with certain Mexican Americans that I'm around here. Um, because if they're talking with national Mexicans, they speak Spanish to each other. But the moment I speak Spanish to one of them, they respond to me in English. I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured that out because okay, they know that I'm not Mexican. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be like a Mexican thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure that the Haitians they adapt. Many Haitians they get to the United States actually via Mexico, and they do adapt language wise. Language wise. Well, here they don't even know Spanish in this part of Texas where you're at. But you're not far away from me. There's nobody Spanish. They don't speak Spanish where you're at. Hmm. Interesting. And I'm in North Texas, so and I understand. It's my understanding that like if you look back 30 years ago, here in Dallas, there wouldn't be that many people that spoke Spanish. But of course, that has changed over time. Yes. Yeah. Usually, so many Latinos there. Everyone going to yeah, TT, including some Cubans. Some Cubans trying to get to the States via Mexico, and Haitians trying to get to the States via Mexico. Um, somehow some Asians even somehow Asians try to get to get to the U.S. via Mexico too. and some Middle Eastern people too. Hmm. They are sixth and seventh generation Mexican. Okay. Yeah, well, I haven't encountered anybody. I personally, well, I can't say how many generations the Mexican Americans that I'm around are, but I haven't encountered any Mexican American that doesn't speak Spanish. It's just that they choose not to speak it with me because I'm not Mexican. There's like, golly, there is a lot of Puerto Rico of people in PR that do know English though, and they're usually happy to meet you. They will tell me they were happy to practice their English, so don't forget it. Yeah, yeah. Well, everybody speaks Spanish on the island. As you know, I understand that you have been there. They call you La Americana. Anybody called you La Gringa? Nobody called you that, Gigi? They will call you that. But whatever. I mean, they will just call you by your name. It's not a big deal with us. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That didn't mean anything. We don't mean anything by it. It's just that if you're an English speaker, somebody will call you that, but we don't mean anything by that. It's just an expression. Hmm. Yeah. Oh man. Uh, let's see. I had my job a few years ago, and we needed Spanish speakers, so we had to hire out because none of the Mexicans at my job spoke Spanish to assist our clients. That's crazy. That that you don't see that here. You don't see that here. I mean, but then again, it's not just the people that I work with that like every single one of them they speak, with the exception of one. There is one that looks like he's Hispanic, but he doesn't speak Spanish at all. But I don't. He's kind of like this little short guy that I work with, and he doesn't speak Spanish at all. He's the exception. Everyone else that is like Mexican American or Central American, they all speak Spanish. Hmm. No, not likely. Not likely. It wasn't likely that it was an insult. Not likely. We're nice like that. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. We don't usually make a big deal when outside people visit. It's like this thing. Let me show you this thing about a content creator that lives on the island. Let's see. Grace is right. My ex used to tease me and call me Boba. Until I figured out what it meant. I thought it was a cute nickname for my. Okay, well, I'm not gonna say what that means. But that was mean. That was mean. Him calling you that. If I spell, I don't know if I spell it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what it means. There's Tejanos, there's here Vaqueros, and I guess just the generation of Mexican. It's a whole other world from what I'm used to. No. Mongolica, you mean Mongoloide. That's something that I used to hear as a tease back when I was in school. Something, tú eres un mongoloide. That's kind of like a way to call you a retard. That's what that means. Because you see people that have Down syndrome, they look like they could be some type of Asian, and there were people with Down syndrome they will call Mongoloids because that's kind of what they were looking. They were looking like an Asian with an issue. Eh. Oh, Bobby. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah. It was a cute nickname. Ah, okay. Come mierda o mongolica when I was growing up. Yeah. In Puerto Rico, we call the people that we call come mierda, all the people that kind of like walk around with their nose, sticking their nose up, kind of like seeing other people as inferior to them. That's what we call come mierda. I don't know what Cubans mean when they call somebody come mierda. Those that have kind of like they put on that face, that having that air of superiority over other people. That's what we call a come mierda. Mhm. Yeah, he was being slick, chica. Yeah. His mom told me and and I screamed at him. Yeah. Yeah, that was me. That was me. It was messing with you. For us, come mierda means you're stupid. Nah. Yeah, what I heard as a tease, another way to call somebody stupid was tú eres un retardado. You're a retard. That was like another way to call somebody stupid. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it means somebody who's stuck up, who has like an air of superiority. We don't like them. Anybody who gets called a comedian is somebody that generally we don't like. We were teenagers, though it was silly. Oye, chico, no se come mierda. I'm sure it sounded something like that. Oh, wow. Uh-huh. Let me see something. Yeah, my bad, my bad. I got a message here. And ah, all right. I've never heard it used that way. Interesting. Must be the Miami Cubans. Um, they're they're a new breed apparently. Well, it depends on how many generations there have been. How many generation Miami Cuban? Because they are kind of like developing to be something somewhat different from an island Cuban. Cubans in Miami people would quick cuss you out. I don't mean anything bad with this, but somehow there are certain Cubans that do come across as kind of like having a bit of an attitude. I have met nice Cubans, of course. Yeah, my ex-husband is Puerto Rican. I can't say it the way Ramon described. Yeah. The whole come mierda thing is just that. Yes, Cubans say come mierda, but they mean something else. They have kind of like a different meaning for them. They're third generation now in Miami. Yeah. Because there was a major migration of Cubans. It was around 1966. There was something called um, the CAA. You can look it up, which was the Cuban Adjustment Act. That was around 1966, about a year after um, there was the 65 in Immigration Act. But around a year later, there was the CAA, which was the Cuban Adjustment Act, and that had to do with the whole wet feet, dry feet thing. You remember that? Wet feet, dry feet. That is somebody from Cuba landed on the beach in Miami, they could ask for asylum, for political asylum that lasted until a few years ago. During the Obama administration, I understand that he overturned that. Okay. His mom will always say towards people she don't like. Okay. I grew up I grew up Cuban Precastro, and even the accent is slightly different. The Cubans in Miami sound ghetto. Oh, oh. My mother came on the Peter Pan program in 1965. Okay. Yeah. The Americanized Miami Cubans give Italian mobster vibes. Oh, well, yeah. Italian mobster vibes. But you know what? I don't know because I understand that Miami used to have or had the the mob. There is a mob presence down there still, and you know that that Miami was built with cocaine money. Cocaine money built Miami because even back in the 80s when the whole country, when the rest of the country was in a recession, I mean, Miami was like there was money everywhere. There was a lot of money flowing through Miami, and but it was cocaine money. It was drug money that built a lot of Miami, and there was a lot of money in Miami while the rest of the country was going through a recession. Yeah. Some of them look Italian. The only skin, dark haired ones. Not to, that's because many of the Cubans, their ancestry might trace back to Italians or at least Corsica Italians, because if you look on the island of Corsica, many people migrated to the Caribbean from there. Many of them landed in Puerto Rico, many of them landed in Cuba, and many of them had Italian sounding names. So their ancestry will trace back uh, to Italy, but they were from the island of Corsica and in the Mediterranean. You can look that up, and um, so many of them do look Italian. The example of that will be actor Andy Garcia. Andy Garcia, he's from Cuba, but in Hollywood he played Italian several times, including in the last Godfather movie. So there are many of them that do look like they could be of Italian descent. Yeah, they do usually very fair skin. They want to wear blonde hair. They want wear blonde hair. Yeah, yeah. They wear blonde hair. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, my mom said back in the day it wasn't even developed. Wasn't even developed really. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, it wasn't kind of like the shores were not secure, so a lot of them the drugs that were coming from Colombia that were being dropped maybe on the water by plane, and somebody on a speedboat will pick it up and bring it back to land. And yeah, it was big business, and there was a lot of carnage. And you can look up how Griselda Blanco, she was the drug queen back then, before she took her operation to New York City and then eventually to California. But yeah, she was the drug queen there. She was ruthless. You can look her up. Mhm. Yep. Let me see. 18 letter. What's going on? I understand that you most likely you're on the road. I understand, but shout out to you. Appreciate you you taking a little time to make a comment on my chat. Yeah, yeah. Andy Garcia, he played mobster. a few times, or at least that he will play Italian. Like if you watch him in the Untouchables, he played Italian, or in the Third Godfather, he played Al Pacino's nephew in that one, or maybe in the movie Hoodlum, he played Lucky Luciano. So he has been playing Italian in the movies for years, but he's Cuban. Spain, Italy, and Portugal went to Cuba and Puerto Rico. Yeah, yeah. I used to love that show with that monster lady song, Griselda. Yeah, Griselda Blanco, the drug queen pin back in the 80s. Um, basically, she was somebody like Pablo Escobar. They talk about a lot about Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar learned from her. Actually, this years before Pablo Escobar or Chapo Guzman, there was Griselda Blanco. Yeah, yeah, the ones from the Campo Los Guajiros come from there. Are you talking about the Miami Cubans now that they are from the countryside? Okay. Okay, okay. So, and the guy who played. Yeah, I mean he calls himself Stephen Bauer, but his real name, he has a real name, a Spanish name. He changed it to Stephen Bauer, maybe because it will help his career, maybe. Yeah, yeah, but he was authentic Cuban. Yeah. Mm, Monster Ladies. Yeah, they're gonna see a look. Yeah, yeah. Lately, I'm not watching television the way I used to, but yeah, what the people did say she was a monster, though technically she was because she was ruthless. She was ruthless with it. She will have people. She will have people people's lives taken out. Even one of them was her husband, her former husband that she had a fallout with, and she had him taken out in a confrontation that she had because he was in the business. He was in the business too, and they ended up becoming rivals. Her own husband had him taken out. Yeah. Every Father Yes Cartel. It was a good show. Don't know why they canceled it. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it was a good show, but ratings. Maybe the ratings didn't hold up like Monsters. Then she will have a lot of people killed. I mean, there are people that are like in jail still right now that were her enforcers because they were having to take people's lives. Anybody who was considered opposition, they will be taking their lives left and right. So she had enforcers. And she will have them taken out. They call her the black. They call her the Black Widow. Usually, yeah. It's funny how Al Pacino played a Cuban and Andy Garcia, being Cuban, played an Italian mobster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was kind of like uh, a Cuban ended up playing his nephew. Al Pacino played a Cuban, and then a Cuban ended up playing his nephew, his Italian nephew, while he was playing Italian. Yeah. No, Michael, you mean Griselda's son? She named him Michael Corleone, actually, after Al Pacino's character. Yep. Cubans that have that Italian look are from the countryside. Okay. Those cartel shows and dogs. Yeah. Check. Yeah, the Cocaine Cowboys. That's a good one. That's a good one. I saw him. I saw it a long time ago. I will have to rewatch it to as a refresher, but it was a. It's been a while. Yeah, I saw that. That one. I think that one did came out back in the 2000s. Very informative. Very informative. Always be crying. She was such a kind person. They all say that. It's kind of like the son of John Gotti. John Gotti worships. John Gotti's son worships him and says the same thing, that he was such a good man. He was a real man. He was such a good man. Even though but he was a mobster. And to this day, still, his son worships his memory. Best one, GG on her. Okay. Big Grand that she was such a kind person. Yeah. Yeah, they all say that. Based off Griselda's reputation and the reputation of the Colombian cartels, I would rather deal with consequences of the mafia than deal with the cartel. Yeah, well, I mean, the cartels. I don't know. I don't know the way they. If you were to deal with the cartels and the mob, the way they used to be, what would be the difference? Because they will take your life, and maybe they will torture you before that. I don't know. I don't know what will be the difference. I really don't know. Maybe he did cry a lot, and his wife looked like his mom when she was. Oh, mommy issues. Oof, oof. Her song is so corny. Like, dude, you're not your mom. Yeah, him being named Michael Corleone didn't help. That didn't help. Uh, I know, but my sister and mother couldn't stand him acting like that. Yeah, he gets loud of her reputation. I think he was complaining also how she was portrayed in the Netflix series with Sofia Vergara. I think I think you said something about that a while back. Yeah, cloud and money. Yeah, it's nice, but it's not original. I mean, Hispanic, it's not original. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. We talked about that before. That the actresses that they cast to portray Griselda Blanco, they're all models. I mean, first it was Catherine Zeta-Jones, which I don't know why they keep casting her to play a Hispanic woman. I don't know why they keep doing that. Um, but and then it was Sofia Vergara, who at least she's actually Hispanic. But these are models. These are models, and Griselda Blanco never really looked anything like that. She will be short, a little bit pudgy, and not ugly at all. But she wasn't somebody who looked like a model. Hmm. Even though it was a fake for the portray. It must have been fake. It's entertainment, so it's not a documentary. Crying Eugene probably knows she allegedly killed his father and other people. Yeah. I understand that she's Welsh or from the UK Welsh. Welsh is kind of like a territory that is under is part of the UK, part of the kingdom. But locally, I understand that they speak their own language, and I think they may have tried to get independence. Yeah. Yeah, but there are a couple of actors that are. I understand that she's Welsh, and somebody like Timothy Dalton, who is one of the James Bond actors. I understand that he's Welsh also. Yeah. It is. It is a compliment. Griselda Blanco didn't look anything like that. A sure stereotypical mestiza Colombian. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe it's the black hair. Maybe it's the black hair. Yeah. Yeah. What got Catherine Zeta-Jones noticed was when she was in the El Zorro, in the Zorro movie, the Mask of Zorro. Fun movie with Antonio Banderas, and that's the movie that kind of like put her in the map, playing a Hispanic, even though she's Welsh. Okay, the Scottish due to Ramon, we outsource Scotland for all. Oh, really? We outsource Scotland for our help desk, and it's really difficult to understand that. Yeah, yeah, they have a particular accent on their own. I mean, you don't outsource to India. A lot of help desk, a lot of call centers. I don't mean anything with this, but a lot of call centers, help desk are outsourced to India. And yeah, that's a challenge to understand. Great people, because I have met a few of them. My dentist is from India, but the before the one that I go to now, there was another dentist that I will go to, and she will be very nice. She was very nice, but the accent, golly, I mean, I will be trying to hold my laughter because she will be. And we're gonna take a film of your teeth, okay? And then we're gonna go and do this procedure, okay? And oh my god, I will be trying to. I will be trying to hold back laughter. And she was nice. She was great. She was nice, but the way that she would, I will be trying to try not to laugh. Yeah, yeah. It makes me look like a jerk, but yeah. Remember the trans sell movies, so they gonna get big stars like that. Got Denzel playing Frank Lucas. Well, Frank Lucas. Well, it's a black American playing a black American, so that will be more accurate. In reality, these people are monsters. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Frank Lucas was maybe glamorized and maybe given too much credit, and he wasn't who he was represented in the movie. You used to have dark hair ones, like Sean Connery wasn't your typical Scottish person. Yeah, he was the first James Bond actor, and he was. Yeah, by the time he started making the movies, he was already balding. He was already having to use a wig. Okay, we used to thank God no more. India. Oh shit. In fact, survey. Why is the torture necessary? I used to get so frustrated. I will say, I want to speak to someone in the United States. Okay. What's up, Lation? What's happening? I felt like a real American. You were getting into some Karen shit. I want to speak American. I want to speak with American. Okay, you were getting a little bit Karen there. Always saw him with white hair. I never saw him young. Yeah, there was yeah, there was a time. There was a time when back when Sean Connery was young. I mean, by the time the 80s came around, he was already maybe in his 50s or something. So he was really having to both um get his hair dyed and wearing a top, like a toupee, something covering the top of his head because he was already balding back then. When he was being playing James Bond still. The companies just need to stop contracting offshore. Yeah, well, it's where they can get the same type of resources for the cheapest. Yes. Some actors that have been all since I remember, like Morgan Freeman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember back in the 80s when Morgan Freeman would be playing these characters. He was already being referred to as an old man in character back in the 80s. So yeah, I hope he's doing okay. Morgan Freeman. The last time I saw Morgan Freeman, he wasn't looking too good. Like suddenly very skinny, which is a red flag. Yeah, yeah. Just miracle, miracle. Okay. Sugar until the day he died. That man was fine, fine. Yeah. Lean on me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he played an older man there. Morgan Freeman was never attractive. Well, great actor though. Sean has always been a handsome older man. Oh yeah, that was my guy. That was my guy. But I learned to appreciate him later on because I wasn't too much of a fan of his version of James Bond, maybe because it was a generational thing. He was the one that did it first, of course, but I'm more of a Pierce Brosnan guy because he was kind of like the James Bond of my generation. Yeah, good until the day. Okay, yeah, even though his James Bond days, he was the the shit. You can say that the shit. He was the shit. Was lean on me when the little girl died. Not that I recall. I don't remember anybody dying in that movie. He was playing that school principal, and he was cleaning it up. That was based on a real person who had to take drastic measures to save a school. Hmm. Hey, don't be talking about my guy Pierce. Pierce Pierce Brosnan was that guy. It's just that he did a great James Bond. It's just that like a couple of his movies didn't work too well. They just were not well. They were not done so well as they could have been. But don't be talking shit about my guy Pierce. Even Roger Moore was better. I don't know about that. Roger Moore. Maybe you find him more attractive, but maybe The Spy Who Loved Me was his best turn as James Bond. Now, I did saw part of The Man with the Golden Gun, and that movie wasn't so bad. That one, that movie wasn't so bad. A lot of people trashed that movie. It wasn't so bad. I have seen worse, much worse. Anyway, that was my. Okay, I haven't seen that one. My girl, I know which one you're talking about. I've never seen that one. Okay, Mr. Clark. Yeah, from Linomy. She does from the bees. Okay. I don't know. Well, not even that great of a British accent because he's Irish. They have their own accent. Not all old men are alike. Hmm. It is TV show. Yeah, you're talking about Remington Steele. That's kind of like the one that put him on the map like that. Yeah. Okay. I've seen parts of the Golden Child. I haven't seen the whole thing. Yeah, but if you want to watch something good, some good Eddie Murphy, watch 48 Hours. I love that movie. I think that was his first movie, and he did so well. Pierce said he does not sound Irish. Well, I mean that's because he did work for a long time in uh, doing features in England. So he adapted his accent. But there is this movie. There is a movie in which you can see him with Jackie Chan actually. It's called, I think it's called The Foreigner. It should be on Netflix. And that's a movie that he did with Jackie Chan actually. And on that one, he's an Irish playing an Irish with the Irish accent. Yeah, I have never heard him do the Irish accent, but he's Irish, so he's authentic with it. It was, yeah, yeah. Beverly Hills Cop is a classic. You know that I haven't seen the second one. I actually haven't seen the second one. I had to try and see and watch the second one. And soon there is gonna be the fourth movie. The fourth movie, a brand new movie that is gonna come out, but it's gonna be released on Netflix. Beverly Hills Cop 4, and it's gonna have some of the same cast. The same cast. They're all a bunch of old guys now. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Okay. Hottest older actor is George Clooney. George Clooney is one of my guys. That's one of my heroes. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the last man's man. Uh, Pierce Brosnan was the only James Bond I knew growing up. I didn't know Sean Connery played James Bond until I was older. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been knowing that, but by the time back when I was born, it was already Roger Moore, I should say. It was Roger Moore. He was playing the character back when I was born, and after Roger Moore, back in the 80s, he was already pushing like 60 years old when he stopped making the James Bond movies. Then it was Timothy Dalton, the Welsh guy that I mentioned before. He made two of them back in the 80s, mid to late 80s. But they didn't make another James Bond movie until 1995, and that's when GoldenEye came out with Pierce Brosnan. And that's when I was kind of like, I had been coming of age. I was a teenager back then, so he was kind of like the more updated, the James Bond of my time. So I like the guy. I like the guy. It's just that a couple of his movies didn't were not very good. They weren't very good. They could have been done better if they had hired directors that knew what they were doing. But the producers, there is this thing with the producers that they have a tendency to hire people that are kind of like art house filmmakers, and they don't know how to direct action. They don't know how to do it, and some of those movies turn out to be rather boring because of that. Because it's with directors that don't know what they're doing. It's unfortunate. Out of the white ones, anyway. What do you mean the white ones? What does that mean? The white actors. Okay. Yeah, I can. George Clooney Facts of Life. George Clooney Facts of Life was hideous. I don't know anything about that. Yeah. Silver. Hmm. It probably be bad sequel. Well, I mean, there is this thing with at least in the last 30 years, almost 30 years or so, that James Bond movies don't have good sequels. They don't have good sequels. They might have an introductory movie that's usually great, but then some of the sequels don't do well. Don't do well. They're boring. They suck. They suck. I mean, you want to watch a good James Bond movie? Watch GoldenEye. At least in recent times. I'm not talking about but back in the 60s. But if you're talking about in the last 30 years, watch GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and that's basically it. Maybe the very last one that came out, No Time to Die. That one trying to be more like Casino Royale, and that one is actually fairly entertaining because the director wanted to make it more like Casino Royale, which is a classic. That's a new classic. Mhm. Okay, what did I say? Sometimes these roles stick with me, and I can see them playing other. You can't see them playing other roles. Maybe you mean? Yeah, yeah. That's what they call typecast. Yeah, yeah. So many is the voice really okay? Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott. He's still alive? I think he passed away. If you're looking that up, you can tell me. I think he passed away. I'm guilty of that. It's like the guy from Diary of Mad Black. I haven't seen that one. He was so good as the evil husband, he can't play any other role. I don't know who you're talking about. Talking about Beverly Hills Cop into it. Ah, oh, okay, okay. Well, about Idris Elba playing James Bond. Apparently, it was an idea on a leaked email from a studio that was suggesting that maybe they could have cast Elba playing James Bond, but I don't think he's gonna do it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it would have been all right. That would have been okay to have somebody like him. I mean, somebody that people know, and I think it would have been all right. But no, he said it himself that he's not doing it. Okay, have you seen Maurice Chester? He looks so handsome, like his dad. Okay, I know he's still alive. Ah, okay, okay, all right. They say he was too street to play James Bond. They whatever. Too street? Too street. That guy, when he talks, he sounds as sophisticated as any other Englishman. What you talking about? What they talking about? They say he was too street to play. Yeah, I don't know what do they mean. What could they mean with that? Samuel is still alive at 79. Good for him. Good for him. I thought he had passed away. Good for him. Hmm. It will have been it will have been good. As Idris played a detective on a BBC show on Netflix a few years back, and that was really good. Okay, okay. Mm. Yeah, well, when it comes to movies, I mean, I will look out for that one, the new Beverly Hills Cop. The only other movie that I will be looking forward that I'm looking forward to that will be Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the only other. That's the only other one that I will be looking forward to because I mean the Ryan Reynolds is basically saving this whole MCU, the whole Marvel MCU shit because that has gotten so woke, and uh, it takes a Gen Xer. Like I was telling you earlier, Juju, there is a Gen Xer that is saving the whole Marvel MCU woke shit. This is definitely not a one dimension. They need to stop. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they must have meant something else, saying that he's too street to play James Bond. Nah. They were talking about something else. They were meant something else. I mean, Top Gun 2. I never seen the first one. Well, maybe it's not required that you see the first one, but maybe you want to get some background story on the main character because I mean, even though he's old, the Tom Cruise character is somebody who is still a bit rebellious. That's why he doesn't move up in rank. He's stuck being in the same rank for I don't know how many years, and he won't retire because that's still um that's still somebody who likes what he does, and the character doesn't want to retire and all. But the movie turned out to be pretty good. The second Top Gun, it may not be necessarily required that you see the first one, but maybe you want to check it out. It's very 80s, so 80s, quintessential 80s. I haven't seen it in years, but I did saw the sequel. It's great movie. It's like Sylvester Stallone in Rambo, in Rambo por favor. Yeah, yeah. Well, Sylvester Stallone is pushing 80 years old now. Like that is kind of like internet talk about he coming out with another Rambo movie. Like, stop it. Like, leave it alone. But this time it's gonna be kind of like passing it down to another actor. He's gonna be in it, but there's gonna be another supposedly another badass actor that is gonna be taking the baton, so to speak. De Niro, Pacino, Denzel, Stallone. Yeah, those are the guys that I basically grew up with. Basically I grew up with those guys. They're cool. They're cool. Legends. All legends, all of them. Yeah. Schwarzenegger too. I grew up with Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Well, the thing is that after the first two movies, it seems like James Cameron didn't have control of that property, that intellectual property, and that's why they were making all these shitty movies after that. Now there was the show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That show was actually pretty good. That one was pretty good, but it only lasted for 2 seasons. That was the series was actually pretty good. They need to stop with Rocky and Rambo. Retire them. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is the spin-off movies, and which is Creed. The Creed movie, that's a spin-off of the of Rambo. Rambo. I'm tired. Rocky, I mean. One-dimensional actor. Yeah. Just to keep up with the comments. It's like Sylvester Stallone in Ram. Yeah. Yeah, both Rocky and Rumble, they should pretty much be retired because we got the Creed movies. Like I said before, there are spin-offs. That's a spin-off of Rocky. Mm. Yeah, yeah, but they're trying to remake all of the things that worked back in the day because they don't have any new ideas now. They make so much crap. They're having to look back into what worked back in the day. They're trying to redo it now. Uh, mm. Yeah, there were a few movies. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci had a great year back in like 1990, I think it was. Because in the same year he did Home Alone, I think it was the first Home Alone movie, and did Goodfellas, which is a classic mobster movie, best mobster movie of them all. Classic. And he was the standout performance in that one. Yeah, Casino was kind of like Goodfellas, but in Las Vegas. It was kind of like the same type of movie, but in Las Vegas about the mob when the mob controlled Las Vegas, and supposedly was actually run better that way. That's what the movie argues. According to the movie, it was better when it was controlled by the mob. It functioned better. It ran better. It was better quality. But then when the mobsters were all arrested and they started tearing down the casinos and they were rebuilding them, but it was made with junk bonds. You have to watch the movie because towards the end they kind of like break that down. It's like Keanu Reeves and those John Wick movies. I have yet to see one. You haven't seen none of them? Oh, at least watch the first three. The fourth one is it's okay too. It's okay too, but maybe they could have left it alone at that. But there is talk about doing a fifth one. So I don't know. I don't know if they want to continue with that. It would have been fine if they ended at fourth, having some type of resolution to his character. Yeah, but you should check out the first one. It's gonna have something that you're gonna like, and it's gonna make you mad too. I'm not gonna tell you what that is. Watch it and you'll see what I mean. It's something that you. It's not necessarily just for men. It's not necessarily a men's movie. That is something that, as a woman, you can actually like. You can actually enjoy about it, and the undercurrent theme, there is a certain theme about something that is done to him that kind of like really makes him go crazy and started taking his revenge. You have to see why it was something. I'm not gonna tell you. You have to watch the movie and you'll see what I mean. Sets him off what sets him off and he goes on a rampage. Yeah. How can they do a monster movie without Ray Liotta? Yeah, he passed away, unfortunately. I hope it was this Snipes Blade comes out. Well, I mean, Marvel has been trying to make a Blade movie for a few years, and it's like two or three different directors have been attached to the project and have left. And there was talk about at least getting Wesley Snipes to do some type of a cameo. and but there are having some difficulties with the production. But Marvel Studios have been working on a Blade movie for a long time, for a few years actually. Now, when they announced um, the actor that is going to play the title role, um, but it's been a few years and things are not progressing with the production on that one. I don't know what the problem is with that. And Wesley Snipes is blackballed. I don't know, still after all these years, because I know about the whole thing, what he went to jail for, but that was like 20 years ago already. Like, let the man do his thing. Oh, really? He has to be in it. No cameo. I wouldn't want it to be a cameo. I would want him to be a significant character. But there was a rumor. There was a rumor that might bring him back because of the nostalgia, because um the original Blade movie, um it has a following. I'm a fan. I love that first movie. I know that there are a couple of sequels. I've seen the first one. Is visually very beautiful. The sequel, but the pacing I don't like it. Some of the writing I don't like it. It falls flat a lot, but it's very visually engaging. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing about tax evasion, but that was so long ago. Yes, I'm on the first one. Was still, yeah, yeah, yeah. I still have it somewhere. I have the Blu-ray here somewhere, so I can pull it out and watch it at any time. But yeah, that was an instant classic. It's a classic. Yeah. Yes, I am a past my Se me pasó la hora de dormir. Sí, sí, se me pasó. Ya mismo me tengo que ir. Yeah, I know. I'm past my bedtime. In a couple of minutes, I'm gonna be wrapping up. But yeah, this was fun. This was fun. I know that I haven't been up online or anything, but it's because I have been dealing with BS, personal stuff, BS, and I just wasn't. My mind wasn't into that. It wasn't into that because I'm still dealing with mess. Okay. Sí, ya mismo, ya mismo. I will still go watch Wesley Snipes moving. I can care less about him paying taxes. People have done worse. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Wesley Snipes is still that guy. I mean, I love watching reactions. There are reaction videos on YouTube of these younger people that are watching Blade for the first time because maybe they have heard about Blade about plans for it in the MCU. So people suggest to them that they watch the original. And fact is, this is a fact that Blade is the first Marvel movie to actually being successful. I mean, I'm talking about a few years before Spider-Man. A lot of people remember the Spider-Man movies of back in 2002, but a few years before it was Blade. That was Marvel too, and that was the first time. That was the first time something Marvel had been that had been successful. There had been nothing like that uh, uh, before. Before it was basically Batman. Batman, and it had been years since there had been a Superman movie because the Superman, for some reason, Warner Brothers, who holds the rights to the DC characters, they can't. They can only make Batman movies. Now they did the Wonder Woman movie did well. Aquaman, the first the those two movies did very well, but the sequels did horrible because for whatever reason they can't be consistent with DC characters on Brothers. They can only make Batman movies. Somebody needs to explain that one to me because I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, but that was also during the 90s. Again, the 90s did it better. And that was Wesley Snipes' decade. I mean, he did a couple of pretty good movies back then, and there was Demolition Man, New York City, and uh, Passenger 57. Passenger 57. A lot of people say that it wasn't original, and they don't have that. It may not have the best reviews, but I thought Wesley Snipes in that one did very good. He did very well. I like that movie actually. What's up? Yeah, what's up? Throughout the entire. Oh, movies put you to sleep. Come on. He was actually good. Okay, the movie was not that great. I know it wasn't, but Wesley Snipes was actually very good, very believable. I could totally believe that he could do everything that he was doing in that one. I could totally believe it. Yeah. The whole thing and with Nino Brown, I totally believe, completely believe that he was a kingpin, a drug kingpin, and that he could taking somebody's lives and he would go on an outburst and he was a scary dude. I totally believed that. Back then I was like 13, 14 years old when I saw that one. So he made an impression on me. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one. But if you want to talk about acting, about decent acting, you have to check him out in Sugar Hill. He did a movie. It's kind of like the 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 other side of the coin to Nino Brown. He plays also kind of like a drug dealer, but he's somebody who is educated and sophisticated, and he's trying to lead the game. He's trying to lead all of that, and that's actually a dramatic movie. He was really good in that one too. Um, I don't know what you're saying here. I don't know what you mean. Tito Short on Diddy being Nino Brown. I don't know what you mean. Did he being like Nino Brown? I mean, did he do any dealing? Mm, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop on that one. I don't know what you I don't know who you're talking about. Uh, I'm from NYC, of course. I like him. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, but that's the only that's really the only movie that I'm kind of looking forward to. Uh, Deadpool and Wolverine, and kind of like the premise of it is interesting because we're dealing with this version of Wolverine that apparently he he had everybody killed and he messed up so bad, and Deadpool is trying to make him kind of like worthy again. Uh, yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while. I do remember everybody being good in it. It's a drama. It's a drama type. Yes, yes, yes. Well, there are. We're living in a time where Hollywood is trying to do remakes, pushing social agendas, and I hate it. I hate that. And they have already messed up the Marvel movies. They have messed up everything Star Wars because they're trying to make it about feminism, pushing feminism to through them, and nothing is working. Everything is crap. Everything is garbage that they're putting out. At least on the Star Wars side of those studio of Disney, because all of that is under Disney, and little by little they're trying to make it woke. All the Marvel movies, they're trying to push agendas there too, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I mean, look up the disaster that was the whole She-Hulk thing. It was a disaster. And the Star Wars shows that they're putting out, because they're female center, um and it's not even about the fact that they may have a female lead. It's because the shows are garbage. They're no good. They're not entertaining for some reason, and unfortunately it's associated with the fact that they are female center. Mhm. Yeah. So not want to see any transgenders. No thanks. Eventually, they might try to push that too. Again, it's about pushing agendas. It's not about telling a story. They need to focus on telling a story. But this fucking Karen, Kathleen Kennedy is forcing everything to be about the women, to be pushing agendas, and then she won and then because everything is the that is being put out under her leadership is garbage, then of course she blames the men for it. Just blame, 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 not taking accountability for the fact that she's putting out garbage. Yeah, yeah, they need to stop that. I mean, again, it's not even about having like a show or a movie with a female lead. It's not even about that. If you're gonna have a female lead on a project, make it a good one. Tell a story. Tell a story. Like they didn't learn anything. They didn't learn anything with Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman movie, a lot of men went to see that one because it was actually telling a story. It was a journey for the main character. She didn't started out. She didn't started out being what they call a Mary Sue, which is that born powerful and perfect. Wonder Woman wasn't born powerful and perfect. She had to become that. She had to become it. She had to train. She had to earn it. This is basically all of the journeys of heroes. All of the heroes' journeys involved having to go through adversity and having to earn their position and to overcome the enemies at the end and all of that. uh, shit. Mira, no, don't get me started on that because I'm telling you, I have been dealing with a lot of blaming in the last few weeks. I have been dealing with a lot of blaming. And Linda, yeah, when I was a kid, I loved Linda Carter. I loved Linda Carter. I was a little boy back then. When I saw her series, yeah, yeah, I loved Linda Carter. She may have been my first crush when I was a little boy because I was precocious like that. I was having crushes on women when I was a boy. Back when I was like what 6 7 years old, I was getting crushes already. Yeah, yeah, because the thing that is kind of like the thing with Wonder Woman that I mean, she will do action and she will do all this action and all of this, but always without one hair out of place, always looking flawless. And we love that. We loved her for it. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, I like that. Oh, I liked her. Oh, the Michelle Pfeiffer got Catwoman. I love that one. Uh, she was fine. She was so fine. Yeah, but you're talking about back in the '60s, back with the old campy Batman. I remember. I remember. Yeah, but Michelle Pfeiffer. That was the one that I liked. That was the one that I liked. Yeah. Well, the Halle Berry movie that just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. It wasn't done well. It wasn't good. Hmm. Oh no, no, because if we're talking about the campy Batman series from the '60s, when I was a kid back in like the '80s, all through the '80s, we could still see that back home, back on the island. We were still seeing that dubbed in Spanish. Yeah, oh yeah. I remember even back then as a little kid, I would see the the old Batman series, the campy Batman series. I was still okay. This is silly. I'll watch it if I have to because there is nothing else. But this is so silly because it was campy like that. It was the '60s Batman campiness. When I was little, they still played all the old shows. In the '70s, baby. Oh, okay. But in the '80s, you could still see cartoons from World War II era. I saw those. I saw this. I saw those cartoons that were from World War II. The time from World War II, where they did a lot of war propaganda with them. In the '80s, I was still seeing those. Not Wella, not Abuela. Well, not for the moment. Not for the moment. as long as as long as your son doesn't. Okay, I don't have to say the rest. Be at it for the moment. Enjoy while it lasts. You will end up an abuela. Yep. Well, well, talk to your boy about that. Talk to your son about that. Hopefully, not for a long moment. Hmm. All right. All right. Okay, guys. I still see that there are 4 people listening in, and I appreciate it. But I do have to wrap up. Yes, it's past my bedtime, so I have to go. And for the people that are here now, I appreciate Gigi for joining the chat, and I thank Titi Juju and Irby, you guys. And maybe if our guy Rakim is still listening, I appreciate him for joining the chat too, even if it was briefly. But I'm gonna be heading out. I'm gonna be heading out. I'm gonna be taking my leave. So again, you guys that are still listening, I appreciate you tuning in and joining the chat. Next time, maybe one of you can just hit the link and and let me hear your voice. But this will do too. This is fine. This is fine. So I appreciate you joining me. This was Introvert Boricua. I'm gonna be taking my leave. Thanks for you guys that joined me for this chat. And until the next time, have a good one. Good night. Buenas noches. And peace.